We're on. Okay. Welcome. Happy Thursday here. Welcome to Cooking with PC. I'm Melanie.
And I'm Anneliese.
Hello. Normally we do this live. It's weird talking to a camera. So, hopefully you guys have all the ingredients ready. So we're going to go ahead and get started with making an awesome salad today, which is our mango black bean salad. And actually, it's from our cookbook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scroll up, Colleen. Keep going.
Oh, we have someone helping us on the side.
Go down. Go down. Keep going. Nope.
That's okay. We'll get to it.
Keep talking. Keep talking. Sorry, guys. This is what happens first. We are live.
Yes, we are.
We are live.
So, firstly, we have on our Facebook page, we had that little recipe up, but basically we're going to start with this list of ingredients we're going to use, and we're going to start making them. So, first off, get the big bowl that you plan, there's water in it, that you plan to use for this recipe, okay? And we start with that big bowl because we're going to make the sauce and have it in there, and that's the good part. Now, with that being said, we want to start off with some olive oil. So if you have some extra virgin, the reason why we're even using extra virgin is because it has an awesome punchy flavor to it, and that's what really makes things taste delicious. So 2 tablespoons, which if you don't happen to have a tablespoon, just know that your cap is a teaspoon, so you can do a couple of those. But 2 tablespoons is what we're doing for this because it's a lot of food you're going to be making here. So a couple of tablespoons of this delicious extra virgin olive oil. Easy peasy, right? Then we're going to add some lime juice. Now I have some fresh limes. If you have lime juice, that's totally fine. You just cut some corners and that's totally fine by us. But make sure when you're cutting the lime, protect your fingers. Now here's a little trick, okay? When we're doing the lime juice, if you stab it with the knife, and preferably not a large knife, we just don't have tiny knives, gently stab little pockets of the lime here. Give a little twist each time. And that's how you're going to get lots of wonderful juice. And you can keep it in there and just kind of twist it back and forth. Just be careful. You do not want to stab yourself. If you do not feel comfortable doing this, get a juicer. That would be my recommendation. What were you doing? 2 tablespoons?
Hi, Joel. Welcome.
Hi. Okay. That's 1/2 of the lime. And you see we're generously measuring here? 2 tablespoons. This is how we do it on the camera.
This is how you cook, not how you bake, though.
No. Baking is like chemistry. You gotta do baking by the books. All right, so we got some lime juice. Now, based on that look, I think I can cut open the other lime just for a little extra. So we have our scraps bowl. So 1 more. And I don't know if I'll need the whole lime, but you're getting about 2 tablespoons worth of juice. And 1 lime is roughly about a tablespoon, give or take, depends on the lime. This is looking pretty good so far. We're doing this all with you, by the way, so no prep work has been done aside from quinoa.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys are doing this with us. So
yeah.
Part of the whole point of the cook with us and the giving you guys the heads up on what ingredients you'll need is that we want you to be able to do this with us. So at the end of 30 minutes, you have a meal, we have a meal.
Exactly. And people in the back have a meal. Sup, Ruby? Sup,
yeah.
Okay. So we got the lime juice in there. I'm going to rinse off my hands because also when you have lime juice, you can also find out where your paper cuts are. So that's fun. And now we do about 1.5 tablespoons of honey. And fun fact with honey, if you want to make sure it doesn't stick, you see I didn't clean out the tablespoon. If you don't want it to stick, make sure there's some oil in your tablespoon measure, because then when you pour the honey in, you're going to see some magic here. If I can get the honey out.
All right. May said, did you say gently stabbing?
Gently stabbing.
She liked that. And then Liz is here cooking.
I tend to say things and then think about it later and go, why did I say that? But you see, if you can barely see it, but this is completely clean. Since the oil was a slick, it allowed the honey not to stick to the tablespoon. And then because I'm really good at measuring and I actually pay attention to what I'm doing, I'm going to do 1/2 tablespoon with my lack of honey that we have going on here. Now, there's a fun reason why we're doing honey. If you've ever made a vinaigrette before, generally if you do oil and vinegars, they separate. They're not going to stay together. They just don't mix well. So we want to add the honey as an emulsifier.
Very good.
Yes.
So let's see. Lizzie said she had a hard time finding cilantro.
I did too. I had to hunt around. I had to go to a couple stores. So
it's become a hard to find item, you guys.
Which is weird. It's very odd.
Yes. And Cliff says he's hungry already.
Good. We want you to be hungry for this.
And look at how Melanie is all dressed up.
I know. Everyone's like shocked that I actually own clothes that aren't workout clothes, and yes, I do. So I do wear clothes that are not workout clothes, and I didn't have to personal train anybody today, so I'm all dressed up. Okay, so we got to do some cumin. I just added some hot sauce. Now, if you're wondering what I added, it was Tabasco. I have all sorts of different kinds at my house. I was in a Tabasco mood today, so that was what we did. But any kind of hot sauce you have doesn't matter. It's your preference, and if you don't like heat, you don't have to add the hot sauce. That's the best part about this recipe is you can just eliminate all the spicy ingredients.
Mm-hmm. And we are adding in a jalapeno too. So depending on how much heat you like, you could pick one or the other.
If it were me, like not feeding all my coworkers, I probably would have bought a Serrano, but that's just me. Just saying. So I'm doing a half teaspoon of cumin. So if you don't have cumin, I'm sorry. But a half teaspoon of cumin. And we're just going to throw that in there too. It gives it kind of that smoky flavor that we're going for, which is delicious. And then some salt and some pepper. And you're going to see me measure things very, very nicely. This is how it works.
By eye.
Yeah. Yes.
By eye.
We're measuring. That's about right. Okay.
This would be the difference between if you are a cook or if you are not a cook. So, if you are not a cook, you stick to the recipe. Okay, that's the rule. You don't be like, I'm going rogue the first time I do a recipe if you don't feel like you have a good grasp on things.
So if you wanted to know how much I added, just in case you were curious, quarter teaspoon of salt, and then however much pepper you want to add. So if you're like, oh, she's just grinding away, I like pepper. Okay, so that's why I did that. Now I'll have you whisk. Oh, good. Okay. You have a job now. And
other than just being pretty and commenting?
You can absolutely be pretty and handing you things. My Vanna White of cooking.
Okay. See what I'm here for, you guys? This is what I'm here for.
You can also, if you haven't already, this is probably the time you want to actually open your can of beans and drain them. So if you want to do that.
Okay.
Joseph says hi.
Hello.
Hi, Joseph.
Okay.
Just wait.
It's going to be good.
Hopefully you're making it with us.
Yeah.
And then you'll get to taste.
So I'm going to start with the bell pepper. And actually, I won't start with the bell pepper. I'm going to start with the jalapeno. And I'll let you show them the bell pepper trick.
Oh, I'm going to cut okay.
That's your skill set. You're the bell pepper.
I'm the bell. Good. Don't make me cut onions. I don't like it.
The only onions are the green ones. So
Thank goodness, because I can't even be in the room.
So we got a jalapeno. I cut off the top. I'm going to cut it in half. Now be careful about your fingers, especially if you have a dull knife. Now, fun fact, if you're trying to scoop the stuff out of a jalapeno, if you have a spoon, that's usually your best bet because it'll prevent you from hurting your hands. You stick that spoon in there and you can cut the inside out real quickly and scoop out all the veins and the seeds, and you're left with an empty hollow jalapeno. Great for jalapeno poppers if that's what your plan is later, if you bought too many jalapenos. But also an easy way to get rid of some of the stuff.
Lizzie says, ratio of water to quinoa, please. I forgot.
What did I do? I did 3 to 1. I don't know if that's exactly correct. I drained it, but it's not like rice where it'll over soak. It just soaks up what it can, and it doesn't soak up any extra.
And if you don't want to drain it, it's 1.5 cups water. Boil 1 cup quinoa. Cover and simmer 15 minutes. It will be perfect.
Yep.
And Roxana and Eric say hello.
Hi,
they're in the
Roxana.
house. I'm sorry, they're not.
Well, they're kind of saying hello. It's Colleen moderating for us
cool
tonight, you guys.
In a cool way.
If you're wondering what the camera voice is, Colleen is here.
So for the chopping part, what I want you to do is flip the jalapeno over so the vein side is down. And then if you want, you can pour those beans into the bowl for me. Because they're not going to soak up the sauce, so they can just sit there and look pretty in that bowl. So I have them in these little, it depends on your likeness for jalapeno. I have them little thin strips, so you can slice them real thin. And this is called compound chopping? Yeah, compound chopping. I was like, is it compound? I think it's compound. I'm not a chef. I'm just here cooking. So,
can I put the quinoa in too?
Yeah.
Okay.
in one big chunk here, and then watch your fingers. So you want to hold down with your knuckles and angle the knife away and rock it back and forth. And your knuckles will be the block. They'll hit your knuckle first, and you will not chop your fingers off. We do not want anyone losing any fingers. And tuck your thumb in. If your thumb's sticking out, that's also kind of dangerous. Now here's the part where I get really bad, so I'm actually going to use my fingers and chop slowly to make sure I get the rest, because it's really small and it's picking up on my knife, and I'm a little scared that I will chop off my fingers on camera, and you'll get to see that, and that will not be fun. So, fun fact, I am kind of klutzy. So,
yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the emergency room tonight.
Well, we're in a great place. But anyways.
We still have to drive to a Kaiser hospital. There's no one here to help you right now.
So, I'm going to throw some jalapenos in here. Thanks, Ruby. So, I got my jalapenos. I would pick up the cutting board, but I'm a little lazy, so I'm just doing it the hard way, if you will. And throwing it in the bowl, just like we would at home.
Look how beautiful it's already starting to look. All these colors.
The quinoa is absorbing all the flavors of the sauce, too, because the quinoa by itself not having a lot of flavor, that's what sauce is for.
That's right. People always say, well, I don't like quinoa. I don't like the way it tastes. It's like it doesn't taste like anything. You're supposed to season it. You're supposed to season it.
It's your turn.
All right.
Good job.
Okay.
We'll trade.
All right. Here's my trick with the bell pepper, an easy way to cut it and slice it without getting the seeds all involved. So the first thing is you want to cut off the bottom so it's flat. Okay? Kind of a general rule of veggie chopping is make one side flat so it's stable. Then you're going to just go around and slice and slice.
So beautiful when she does it.
And slice, and then seeds are nice and protected there. They didn't get all over everything, and now I have nice flat pieces. And we want to make these small so then I can julienne all these pieces.
The thin strips we're talking about, that jalapeno.
Yeah, so julienne, right? And then I can compound chop them the same way Melanie just showed you with the jalapeno.
We also didn't lock the table.
The table moves.
Yeah, the table does move.
The table moves.
As it's slowly creeping towards you.
So now I'm going to put all of these peppers together. Okay? And then we're just going to run the knife through them. And in just, the 30 seconds, 45 seconds, I just completely chopped an entire bell pepper with no seeds and
done
to go.
Hopefully you're learning some new skill sets while we do this. Perfect.
And then you eat this.
Because we're not serving anybody but our coworkers, so we can do that. So I really like onion, and I know it calls for a quarter cup of green onion, but I'm just going to do a lot of this because they're good. I'll do 2. Let's see how 2 looks. So what I like to do is I always chop off the little ends because we don't want to eat these little stringy bits.
But you can grow them back.
Yeah, you can absolutely grow that. The process is what you put in a little bowl of water, suspended with toothpicks, right?
No, you can just stick it in a bowl of water until it starts to sprout, and then you put it in dirt.
Cool. So you can reuse your produce, which is awesome. All right, so chopping up these green onions nice and thin makes a little bit of a mess, but that's okay.
Is Lizzie still talking about the quinoa?
She said 2 water for 1 part quinoa, which there are so many ways.
There are a lot of
Anyways, but my tried and true is 1.5 cups water, 1 cup quinoa.
And I did like extra
Done.
water because I was too lazy to Google it. And I thought, well, I can rinse it off.
You can. Yes, you can.
I think the 2 is actually plenty. This is quite a bit of onion, so we'll go with the 2.
Yeah, that is a lot more than a quarter cup, Melanie.
But that's fine. It's delicious. I love it. It's so good. It's good.
I don't disagree. I'm a green onion fan, and with the volume here, I kind of like a little bit more
and
onion.
y'all are doing your own thing, so if this is too much onion, you can absolutely do less.
Yes.
All right, I'm just going to pick this up and do what I should have done with everything else we've been doing. So the scoop it into the bowl plan, and there goes that spoon. Bye, spoon.
And as you guys can see, this is getting super colorful. And that's really important because each of these colors offers different antioxidants. And antioxidants help us in a lot of different ways. The best known way is cancer and fending off colds and flus and keeping our immune system healthy. And since they each offer their own special color chemical, the more colors we get in your dish, the healthier it's going to be.
Exactly. Now, the other thing, I thought of you when I bought these because I got them pre-peeled. So,
Anneliese is very allergic to the peel of mango.
Yes, they are. Fun things not to have around. So I decided to get them pre-peeled specifically for her, not for you guys. I would happily peel a mango on camera, but then my fear was touching stuff with the skin and you potentially getting.
I would just not.
She would stand over there. You wouldn't see her.
It'd be like we're in a pandemic and I should have space for me at all times. That's what it would be like.
Yes. We merged households. We're allowed to do this. Okay, so
if you guys haven't watched us before, just so you know, we quarantined and merged households
right
at the beginning.
We live just down the street from each other, so you know.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just cutting these into small pieces here, and this one's actually kind of big. And the fun thing is this is already pre-chopped, so I'm kind of dealing with what I got. So it'll take a little bit more time than, let's say, chopping up a whole bell pepper, but that's okay. I got these little itty bitty cubes because you want a little bite with each one. You don't want like massive chunks of mango in there because you want a little hit of sweetness every time you take a bite. Not a lot, just a little.
You want a perfect balance of the sweet and the heat and the veggie.
All the good things.
All the good things.
And this is definitely probably a little more than a medium mango, I would say. So we're just gonna cut up most of it. Probably.
So I could probably
eat a piece. Yeah, that's totally fine.
I'm just gonna eat while she cooks. You guys.
Well, you can chop up the rest of the cilantro if you want. It's only a quarter cup, but you know. We'll take turns chopping things. I just figured I would take this one.
You can chop all the things. I'm just happy to be here.
All right, so we're getting these all nice and thin and small and delicious. And
Ed Long is here. He's watching the video.
hey, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
He wondered, where are you guys?
We are in Positive Choice at the top of Garfield Specialty Center.
It is not my house.
We are not in our houses for once.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. I know.
So we were only able to have one cooking class this year before we went into quarantine. So this is where all of your live cooking classes would have been this year had we been holding them.
Yeah.
So this is our nice way of getting to use it.
And some of you may have had a lovely phone call from me not too long ago asking you if you wanted to get your money back because we didn't have cooking classes. So this is our alternative to that. Since you don't have them in person, we do them virtual.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine by me. All right, so we're getting pretty close here. What do you think on that mango? A little bit more?
I don't know. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds about right too. We'll finish up this little stack. Lovely, lovely. Okay, so getting that mango all chopped up, so good. And what's great too is like if it's really hot and you're like, oh, I don't want to cook, you don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a no excuses kind of person. I don't like to make excuses for things. I'll do like one more piece.
Okay.
I don't like to make excuses for things. So like the one thing I hear a lot is like it's hot. I don't feel like cooking. I always like to keep stuff on hand that I can make that don't require cooking. So this is one of those things that I'll make a lot, especially when it gets warmer out, as it will be periodically this week.
And going forward.
And going forward,
in June.
yes. So if you're sitting there thinking, man, it's so hot, I don't want to do stuff, you don't have to do too much for this. I mean, I brought pre-peeled mango here, and the most I did was chop, and that's pretty low heat for that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, get that mango in there.
Lizzie said her son ate the mango for this. And
Cool. I'm glad your son really enjoys mango.
She said, this is my life. And Lisa says, looking delicious, how long can we keep this quinoa salad in the refrigerator?
About a week.
Yeah.
About a week.
I'm glad she said that because I was just thinking, like, during the summer when I don't want to cook, I am big at my house at making, like, I'll just eat off one thing for the whole week. I don't care. I mean, not every meal, but, and salads like this are great because if you were to just stick this in the fridge, that would be an easy meal. Just 5 minutes of dishing out and, yeah.
All right, you want to chop up some cilantro?
Sure.
Beautiful.
Yay. How much cilantro do we need?
About a quarter cup.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of
Well, actually,
eyeball
half
that.
cup, but
Half cup? Okay. So,
It's your preference. preference. If you don't like cilantro, you don't have to add cilantro, by the way.
Did you add something else? Parsley or?
Parsley would change the
I
whole
would
flavor
add
profile.
parsley. I'm trying to think of like a pretty flavor neutral vegetable you could add for the green. My only thoughts, that was what I was thinking. Like, my thoughts would be like chopped up spinach or chopped up arugula would be good. That would be a good one. Yeah.
And if you guys didn't notice, an easy way to chop up leafy herbs like this is you just roll them into a tight ball and then you're able to run your knife through it. So, again, quick way to just like get those herbs nice and
Chopped.
There you go.
Look how easy that was. That was everything. That was the whole dish.
And is that it? Are we done?
That was it.
Lisa Sanchez wants to know what goes well with this. Chicken?
Yeah, you could do chicken.
Fish?
You could do whatever you want to do with this. This is kind of a well-rounded meal. It's very.
Fish would go really well with this. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This would be like.
Some mahi mahi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has kind of a Mexican kind of theme to it with the cumin and all the spices and the jalapenos. So you're going for a little heat. So I mean, anything that can tolerate heat. So probably nothing too subtle. So chicken for sure. A strong fish would be good. There's lots of good stuff out there. You can. I mean, one thing I always think is like barbecue. So if you're making like chicken burgers or just regular burgers, this would be a great side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're doing some barbecue at home.
Oh, Lisa says grilled shrimp.
Grilled. Lisa,
Yeah,
we can always
Lisa.
count on you
Thank
to
you,
come up
Lisa.
with good. Yeah.
And Lorena's watching. She says hi.
Hi, Lorena.
Everything's good. Looks great. I'm watching this video while eating dark chocolate covered banana. I didn't buy the ingredients sometime. But we'll definitely make it this weekend.
There we go. And on that note, this will be up on our Facebook. We'll put it up on YouTube. So if you are watching this at the tail end and you missed it or you didn't get the ingredients, it will be up forever and ever now.
And the one thing you didn't notice me do is I tasted it. It was not because I wanted to eat it, but because I wanted to see if it had all the stuff I wanted in it.
Yes.
I personally think it's more pepper.
Okay. Always taste before you serve, you guys. Because how many times have you been at someone's house and they serve you food and you know they didn't add enough salt or they didn't season it well enough and you're like, oh, this would have been so good if they had just tasted it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically we'd want you to taste in steps, like we should have tasted the sauce first, which we didn't. But at the very end of it, we can always add more to it. So it's better to add less than add more later than it is to just go, I think it needs this much salt, and then it's way too much salt.
Yeah. You can always add more.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot take away. Are
Yeah.
we...
Marsha Randall says hi. I forgot.
Hi, Marsha.
Hi, Marsha. Well, that's okay. This video will live on the internet forever. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
We got a nice, delicious dish that will last us now.
Yes.
A week.
Yeah.
And it's plenty. Look how much this made.
Mm-hmm.
It's just assembly. It's so easy.
And if you just wanted to eat this on its own, it's not going to be a huge punch in the protein,
but it's complete.
It's complete protein because the quinoa and the beans, and there will probably be, let's see, there's 8 grams of protein. So this is a dish, 8 grams of protein for 200.
Quinoa. Oh my goodness.
See, we are going to be at the emergency room tonight, you guys.
I'm fine.
So 8 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber for only 228 calories. This could stand alone.
Yeah. I eat it all the time as like a snack. My voice is not wrong because I coughed on quinoa. But anyways,
This is why you don't eat and talk at the same time, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die of this. So great. But I've definitely eaten this as a snack on its own. I'm like dying. I'm good. Water. Thank you.
Ask questions while Melanie recovers, you guys, because we actually are coming up at 5 minutes to end. So ask your questions, get your questions in, and if you made it and tasted it, let us know. We want to know right now. How is it?
Yeah, because I hope you guys are making it with us. That's why we're doing this. But if you're not, you can make it later and like comment on it and say, hey, I made this and it was missing something or it needed something or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling a little bit.
And we can also put in, give us some recommendations. What do you want to see made on these? And we can get that rolling. Keep in mind that 30 minutes is the limit. It has to go from start to end, 30 minutes.
So preferably nothing that requires an oven unless you want it to bake while we turn off the camera.
Right. We like assemble, you put it in your oven, and
Ta-da.
we put it not in the oven.
The oven. People must be busy eating. It must be delicious.
Okay, Gracie says, I think I could eat this with healthy crackers or pasta for the carbs. So Gracie, this actually, if we were to categorize this would be the carbs.
Yeah, this is the carb.
Yeah.
So basically it's a carb with some protein in it, and it's a complete protein, which is good, but it's still technically a carb because the beans are considered a carb and the quinoa is considered a carb, and all the veggies and the fruit, actually.
Right.
There's not a lot of not carbs in it. Really.
Yes. There's some protein and there's some fiber, but you wouldn't want to add carbs to this. If you were going to add something to this, that's why we were mainly touching on the protein. You can do tofu.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Carlin says, can you use store-bought dressing?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yes, but Carlin, you have not lived until you start making your own dressings.
It's way better when you make it from scratch, I'll tell you that.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. It's really like this dressing, it's honey, olive oil, and lime.
And some seasonings, but yeah, it's relatively simple. And we only made enough for this, so you don't have leftovers of the dressing that you made.
Right.
Ed wants to know who's going to eat all the salad you just made.
Ruby and Colleen over there.
Ruby, Colleen, whoever is left in the building.
She's doing the whoop whoop in the background, like she's super stoked right now.
She's been waiting all day for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Marcia says, I'll try this later. You know I love to cook. No black bean brownies.
Nope.
So she doesn't want black bean brownies.
Okay. That caught me. So here's the background with Marcia.
Okay.
Marcia has been making my black bean brownies for years. So I think what she's saying is she'll use the black beans for this instead of the black bean brownies that she would normally use it for. Oh, and not enough time. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, we would just throw them in the oven and then we'd suddenly pull out a cooked batch of brownies. Like it came out of somewhere. I don't know where. An oven.
The oven that's underneath here.
Yeah, it's right here. Totally.
All right, you guys. I think we're going to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm better. I'm not dying anymore.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was choking for a little bit, but I'm good now.
Yes.
So problem is, like, I love pepper, but when you inhale pepper and quinoa at the same time, it does not feel good.
No. Eat your food. Don't inhale it.
I like to inhale it sometimes, and I realize I'm not a fish, and I can't do that with water or anything, really, so I just can't do that.
No.
No. I have to eat.
Lizzie needs more time, and you guys have a few thank yous.
You're welcome. And Lizzie,
hurry up.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining us. Next week, this is Melanie's deal, so you're going to see Melanie every single week, and she's going to have a new and wonderful guest every single week.
Every week someone different meal, different thing. So I know who it might be next week, but I also know that if you know Chris wants to jump in at some point and he gets precedence, so he might be next week too. I don't know yet, but we'll find out.
Mystery
next
guest.
week. Mystery guest.
Mystery guest next week.
A little bit of mystery.
And ingredients and name of the recipe will go up on Monday.
Yeah. So this one that we did today will go up today, right?
Yeah, it's already up.
Yeah.
I put it up right before, so you guys have the recipe.
Yeah. So what we just did today, that's already up, but for next week we'll do that Monday, so it gives you the time to shop before Thursday.
But you still won't get the full recipe until Thursday.
Gotta show
So you'll
up.
get ingredients on Monday, then you gotta show up to get the recipe here.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys.
And then Gracie. So we'd love to see a simple 30-minute meal following the Mediterranean diet, possibly with chicken breast.
Yeah.
We could. I mean, we probably won't use chicken breast because we're doing this more plant-based, but you can absolutely add it yourself. There's no limitation for what you can do at home. I mean, I'm not entirely plant-based, and I definitely have cooked these classes before, and I'm like, this would be great with sausage. Don't tell anybody, and then you run away. So it's we got to do what we got to do, and it's everyone's preference. But we'll try to think of some creative sides that you can do or whole meals that you can do too. It's not going to just be one type of food the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a wonderful weekend. We hope that you enjoyed this. We hope that you enjoyed the food. And Melanie will see you next week.
I will. She won't. I will. Goodbye.